Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul, joined by Jack Weinberger. Producer Zach is with us for a Week 4 reaction show here. Maybe a sad one, given the state of the Minnesota Vikings.
Great one for me.
Yeah, congratulations to Jack on the Steelers win from earlier in the day. Kind of wild that we just got done watching a Chicago Bears win for the second week in a row.
And you don't often see the Bears being the team to block the game-winning field
We
goal.
were laughing at the end of the game. Zach, I don't know if you heard me say it to Jack. I looked over to him and I said, now this gets really interesting as Geno Smith's leading the potential game-winning drive. Because both of these teams usually find ways to screw this up. So something has to give here. And we see now for the second week in a row, a blocked kick win a football game. Last week was ridiculous, but the Bears walk away with another win. And isn't it funny how, again, the instantaneous reactions in football that we talk all the time about, here we are, 2 weeks after the world was falling down on Chicago. They're 2-2. They got the Commanders and the Saints up next. Those are two games that they could possibly win.
And they're better than you guys.
They might. Oh, yeah, right now, dude, it is a bad time to be a Viking fan.
No, it's last week, my eyes were open a bit with the way they pounded Dallas like that. And, you know, every team tends to have these games once a year in the NFL. Like, they're all pros. This can happen. We've seen it. They can do it. But now to follow it up, too, with another nice win on the road, make it back-to-back. Caleb leads a nice drive there to win the game in the end. Swift gets into the end zone. And it's sunny times in Chicago the last 2
And
weeks.
that's the thing, right? It's because you look at this game, and a lot of people in the comment section right now, Caleb still blows. Bears got lucky.
I think he still stinks.
Sure, like whatever opinion you want to have, you can have. And Caleb had an up and down day, but at the end of the day, when they needed it, Caleb goes on an 11-play, 69-yard drive, eating up 5 minutes, and they get the ball in the end zone and they win the game. And this is part of the progression that you want to see if you're a Chicago Bears fan. If you're Weston Dell, our great friend who's a huge Bears fan.
Is he watching?
This is what you want to see, right? Find ways to win. Because what normally happens in Chicago, you find ways to lose that football game, right? You have that big turnover. He takes the big sack. And even at the end, when there were a couple negative plays on that game-winning drive, Caleb found a way to get the ball down the field. Rome Odunze has looked really good over the past few weeks. He almost seems like the wide receiver one there. And even though it's not like you're coming out and blowing teams out yet, you're winning. And that is a big turnaround because you feel a lot better after a win than a loss, even if it's the exact same game, right, that we just watched.
Yeah, and also, too, like you just mentioned, again, like obviously not being a huge Caleb Williams fan, not admitting things yet, but he has seemed to have found a very good connection and chemistry with his draft partner, Rome Odunze, which is what Chicago Bears fans really want and need to see.
Yeah, it's what you want from the Ben Johnson era here. After it was about as bad of a start as you could have had, losing the way they did to the Vikings, and then having Detroit, who Detroit's looking like Detroit
but
now.
But just
so
beat the crap
out of them, completely deflating. Yeah. You're not in it at all. To have the bounce back that they've had, I've been really impressed with Chicago, and I still don't think that this at the end of the day is going to wind up being a playoff team. But it's fun playing the schedule game, and all right, Commanders, Saints, then you go to Baltimore. That's tough, but the Bengals, the Giants, the Vikings, those are all winnable games. I think now we have to put Chicago on the tier of functional, right? The functional teams.
Well,
in the
they won't
league.
beat the Giants. The Giants are unbeatable.
Oh yeah, with Jackson Dart now.
The Giants only lose a game with Jackson Dart, and I'll try to tell you this, and we'll see week by week. You'll see.
Jackson Dart and the Giants. Before we talk about Dart for a moment, I do want to say I think the big loser this week is ultimately the Los Angeles Chargers.
Them or Baltimore.
We'll get to them in a second. But the Chargers, you come into this week, you're 3-0. The Chiefs are 1-2. I'm not too worried about the Broncos just yet, and the Raiders clearly are not a problem. But sorry. But if you're a Charger fan, you're thinking, okay, this is the time now that we could really take hold of this division. And what happens is you lose to Jackson Dart in his first game where Malik Neighbors misses, and poor Malik Neighbors it's a torn ACL for him. That sucks just because as people who want to watch Jackson Dart over the next few weeks,
yeah,
that would have been a lot of fun to see that connection as it grew. Hopefully Malik gets better. But the Chargers go and lose to the Giants in Dart's first start without Malik Neighbors, and the Chiefs follow it up by drumming Baltimore. If you're a Charger fan, you're staring at the wall right now going, oh, my God, it's going to happen again. And I think it will.
I think it probably will, too. Ziggy brought this up, which is funny, a couple days ago when we were previewing this game. he said you can't forget that the Chargers are the Chargers.
Yeah, and maybe I didn't listen.
This is the game a game that the Chargers do not win. We think the Chargers are good. They're 3-0. This could be it, and they lose to the Giants.
Yeah, and
that's typical Charger fashion.
And not only do they lose, but Justin Herbert doesn't have Justin Herbert's been great this year, right? People are talking about him in the MVP conversation. Well, that Giant defensive line gets after him. They only have 2 sacks, but 12 QB hits. Herbert throws 2 picks. I mean, Omarion Hampton had a great game, but other than Hampton, there weren't too many positive takeaways for the Chargers. And it's just like, I'm looking at the drive chart here, and the Giants had a chance to really put this thing away, too, when they had the ball inside the 5-yard line. They had a turnover on downs. The Chargers could never put together that drive to just kind of get themselves back into the game and really make the Giants sweat and make Jackson Dart have to make a play. And that's just unacceptable. To me, that's totally unacceptable for a true contender, especially of the Chargers' status, where you're trying to do something that hasn't been done in 8 years by winning the division.
Yeah.
And these are the games now when the Chargers look back on this season. There's no doubt in my mind if the Chiefs come back and pull this thing off. And remember, the Chargers still have to go to Arrowhead, I believe, right? Because that first game,
the
Brazil game was technically the Charger
home game. Yes,
the Charger home game.
The Charger home game.
I didn't even think about that. That's kind of insane to have a division game.
Yeah,
like
a
neutral
home
site.
division game on a neutral site.
Like that is crazy.
Steelers-Vikings is different, whatever. But to have week 1 against a divisional opponent,
I just want to confirm that next game will be in Kansas City. So that's
a Chargers home game.
I mean, they won. That's great, but still, you got to be thinking if you're a Charger fan tonight. As the schedule wears on, and let's see who LA has coming up here. They have the Commanders, the Dolphins, the Colts, the Vikings, Titans. I mean, all right, so they should be able to pull out at least 2-2 there. You're hoping if you're a Charger fan, but with the way Kansas City looked today, it starts to again things change so quickly in this league.
I mean, it's tough, especially to go. This was a spot to me where you go on the road, West Coast to East Coast. It's like a 10 a.m. body clock type game. A team you probably overlook a little bit. Like, it reminded me of the Packers-Browns situation this week with Chargers and the Giants. Like, to a T.
And it's not that the Giants are not a...
They're not.
They're not a bad team because they should have beat the Cowboys.
Yes.
They hung in there with Kansas City, and they're that wild Mahomes play away from probably going up 13-6, and who knows if they win at that point.
But the Giants are a team that a team like the Chargers will overlook.
Yes, and they're a team that the Chargers have to beat.
Yes.
Because Kansas City, right, for all the flack we gave them, they lost to the Chargers, who we think are going to be very good. They lost to the Eagles, who we know are very good. When they played the Giants, and it was a back-and-forth game for a lot of that, they won when it mattered. And that's what the teams that are supposed to go on these playoff runs do. They find ways. It's right. We talk about in college, right? Your cap of the week, Ohio State on the road at Washington. Things just kind of break their way. And a lot of times it's because they make it happen. And you have this resiliency. And the Chargers have always been one of these teams that struggled in these moments. And today it happened yet again.
Screw Ohio State. They're not even that good.
That was ridiculous.
They're not even that good.
That was horrible.
They're really not even that good.
I get so tired of watching. I feel like anytime you have these Alabama, I know, of course, Alabama goes on the road and beats Georgia, right? Like these guys, they never go away.
You know what happens though? Against typical Ohio State, it's like you stop them on 3rd and 15. Here comes the flag in the secondary. It's just annoying nonsense like that tends to go their way.
What's most annoying about it is that usually it's warranted too. It's like, yeah, that was a clear hold. Like obviously that happened, but every once in a while you have a play where you just go, oh well, you're thinking of the roughing the passer.
Yes.
You're thinking of the roughing the passer.
Which is the worst thing I've ever seen.
There's not too much, honestly, for me to talk about with Jackson Dart. I think he looked like a rookie would in his first start.
Yeah.
It was fine. He had 111 yards, a touchdown. I mean, honestly, it wasn't that great. He had 5 sacks. And
there was some stuff on the ground, 60 yards on the ground?
He had 10 carries for 54 yards and a touchdown on the ground. But he won the game, right? He won the game. So congratulations to the Giants, who we saw. Our buddy Mike was here. He's a big Giants fan. And you would have thought the Giants just won the Super Bowl. At the end of the game.
Well, he was like, I'm not used to this. We don't win.
I'm not used to it. He's jumping around all over the place. It's hysterical.
Like, we won.
It was great.
I mean, they don't win.
So we talked about how the two things of why Chargers might be the big loser of the day is their loss, obviously. But secondly, and perhaps more importantly for the entire NFL, the Chiefs just beat the crap out of the Baltimore Ravens today. And we'll get to the Ravens in just a second. As far as Kansas City goes, Can we put them in the power ranking this week?
No.
Can we put them back?
They beat a bad team.
Can we put them back in here?
They beat a bad team.
I mean, you see the difference, right?
They beat up on a crap team.
What people were overreacting to with Kansas City, and a lot of people in the comments have recently been saying, Paul seems to be a bit more of a Chiefs fan than a Viking fan right now. That's not. I'm just a defender of truth.
Well, this was the first game I've seen from Kansas City where they looked like Kansas City, and it's a scary thing to see. Like, I'll come back around on that point. Like, Kansas City beat the crap out of Baltimore today, but this was the first time I've seen Kansas City play like that in a long time.
But I also don't think, yeah, sure. Even going back to last year, at times they didn't, forget the playoff run.
I don't
even
remember,
the regular season, they didn't have a lot of these games. Mahomes had 4 touchdowns, right? When's the last 4 touchdown game? Patrick's, I can't remember.
The Chiefs, I guess, lack of a better term, the Chiefs of old, used to week by week have games like this where everybody got blown out.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first time the Chiefs looked like the Chiefs in a while.
And I don't think it's a coincidence, though. And this was the point I was trying to drive home to everybody.
What, Worthy's back?
Yes, is that Worthy's back, and that Rashee Rice is going to be entering the fray soon for them as well. And when that happens, how many of these guys, like Josh Allen's a one-man wrecking crew. Lamar has typically been, but most of these guys who are playing, and I know we put Patrick Mahomes on that same tier. You take away Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, I don't know what the Rams are going to look like. You take away Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, you're not saying the Vikings are a contender, but what does that offense look like, right? DK Metcalf leaves the Steelers. That's just one dude. If you have the 2 top options taken out of an offense, it's hard for me to overreact so much the way people have with Kansas City when I'm saying, all right, they're 1-2. They barely lost to the defending Super Bowl champions. They lost a close one to the Chargers, who we still think are good despite the loss today. Let's wait and see when this team's fully operational, fully functional. What do they look like? And Xavier Worthy isn't even the number 1 guy. I think Rashee Rice is the best skill position player on this offense when he's healthy. There's another level to this. And I like watching Kansas City today. You said, Paul, right now, who would you pick to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC? I would go with Kansas City.
You wouldn't pick us?
Well, you guys look good.
There's like drubbing today.
Like I like Buffalo. I think they're a lot. I think that Josh watching him play is as fun as it gets with anyone I've ever watched. Baltimore clearly has some issues, but right now, the way Kansas City looked, and get 2 in a row, start getting a little healthier. Yeah, they're a great team.
Now, would I be crazy to venture off and say that Baltimore's bad? I think Baltimore's bad.
Baltimore right now.
They were completely physically dominated and abused by the Lions, and they follow it up being absolutely destroyed by the Chiefs a week later.
Baltimore, this might be something that
I think they're bad.
We don't have a lot of AFC North fans.
The Baltimore defense sucks.
We don't have a lot of AFC North fans who listen to this show. If we did, what I'm about to say would probably piss them off. If I were a Baltimore fan, I actually wouldn't be super concerned. This is one big piece of criteria.
Your defense can't stop anybody. The defense is horrible.
But the defense is missing Matabike. They're missing Kyle Van Noy, who's their top edge rusher last year. Humphreys went down today. Roquan went down today. You saw late in the game, Nate Wiggins went down today. There are just so many backups. Now, I don't know how long.
This is also now 2 straight weeks where Lamar's been mid as well.
No, Lamar didn't have a great game, and Derrick Henry didn't really get anything going. Like, that is not good. But when I look at the Ravens, and I just want to see where.
Also, too,
injury.
When did Lamar get hurt? At the beginning of the 4th?
Yes, in the beginning of the 4th.
You never know. Maybe if he stays healthy, Baltimore comes back and wins that game.
Assuming the Roquan and assuming the Humphreys injuries, I didn't see how bad those looked. But assuming that they are, like a couple weeks or something like that, looking ahead for Baltimore, they had the brutal stretch here. And you don't want to go 1-3.
Oh, I said it before. Like, you open up with the Bills, Lions, and Chiefs 2 on the road. Yeah, that's brutal. 3
of the toughest games you could possibly have in the National Football League right now. They follow this up. They had the Texans at home. They get the Rams at home. They get the Bears at home. 3 straight home games, right? Nice to get those under your belt.
Come on, Caleb.
Then you got I know, right? Then you got at the Dolphins, at the Vikings, at the Browns, host the Jets, host the Bengals, host the Steelers, at the Bengals, Patriots. Like, I'm just running through the whole schedule here. Feels a lot more approachable.
But you know what the problem is? If you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, can you find two more. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule. You making up 2 games on that team? I don't think you are.
I just think if I were a Ravens fan right now, this is not a good start. You don't like being behind 2 games already to the Steelers, and it's not that I still think the Ravens are better than Pittsburgh, but there does come a certain point, right, where you have to start looking and going, all right, like we got to get it going. And Pittsburgh, whether or not you think that they're a legit 3-1 team, they find ways to win. They've done it for years. And if 10 games wins the AFC North this year, which it could, Baltimore could still win 11, who knows, but 10 could win it. The Steelers are probably going to find a way to get to that number because they've been doing it for years and years. And Rodgers looks good.
Yeah.
I just think at this point in time for Baltimore, you can point to reasons why the defense is struggling, and it's because there are so many injuries to key players right now that we're going to look back on week 3, week 4, when everyone's freaking out right now. In 3 weeks, when they've won their last 3 games at home and they're sitting there at 4-3, we're going to say, all right, they're catching their stride. Lamar's gotten it back. Derrick Henry's gotten it back. There are ups and downs in seasons, man. You can't overreact. This is bad. It's not good.
In the defense of Baltimore as well, and this pains me to say it, is if Baltimore opens up with the schedule the Steelers had with New England, the Jets, and Minnesota, and we opened up in.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
you're 1-3.
Yeah,
you're
1-3, and they're probably 4-0.
Yeah,
so.
it's just the way these things fall sometimes, and it actually could end up being a good thing for Baltimore to have this start. And look, obviously you.
But now you're playing from behind. Now you're playing from behind.
Yes. But what I mean by that is you can find a silver lining in you got it out of the way. It sucks. You're all banged up. If you can get hot now and find your way to build up momentum as we approach November and December football, that's when you want to be playing your best football. And I think the schedule builds in nicely for Baltimore to find its groove. So it's playing its best ball.
Too now, right? I believe. And they got a bye before Houston.
No, they have Houston. Is today the 20?
Oh,
yeah, they have Houston next week.
Okay, Houston next week.
They have Houston, then the Rams, then their bye.
Okay.
But those are 2 huge. I think the Texans stink.
I mean,
I'm done on Houston. Even I know they had a big win today, but I'm out on them.
Yeah, we have to see Baltimore. Like, we have to see Lamar and Derrick Henry and the Baltimore offense look like the Baltimore offense at home against Houston.
Yes.
Like, it'll be very...
Hey, Houston's got a good defense. I know we say what we want about their offense. If C.J. Stroud goes in there and they light up that defense, now we have some problems.
But I just... It's reassuring to me to see Baltimore get back on track convincingly against Houston.
Yeah, and then, look, I know I kind of washed over it before. The Rams at home is not a given.
No,
that is a tough game. So Baltimore does have now
they're up 20
the next 2 weeks with Houston and the Rams. Must wins. Got to get to 3-3. And if you're sitting I still think they'll be okay with the way the schedule falls, but you got to get the mojo back. And we'll see. Hey, it's pretty exciting for you guys. 3-1 right now. Like, will you tell them your bet?
Yeah, sure. I'll bring it up. I placed a wager of $200 a couple weeks back. It pays out $20,000.
That's a nice payday.
Yeah, I had. The first leg was Mississippi State beating Arizona State, which happened weeks ago.
It's crazy to me. Oh, I'm sorry. Finish the parlay.
So Mississippi State beating ASU, it happened weeks ago. And I parlayed that with the Philadelphia Phillies winning the National League and the Steelers winning the AFC North.
There's a degree of lunacy in placing a mega parlay like that where you have a division winner, a conference winner, and then a single game college football. What was the game?
Mississippi State money line against ASU. It was week.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like weird bet.
It was like week 2, but I mean, it has teeth. Like Philly's
absolutely does.
Philly's probably the best or second best team in the NL, and then the Steelers are 2 games up on Baltimore.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Did someone say it earlier in here? Someone I believe said that they thought the Colts should have won today. The Colts, I think the Colts were a team that even though they lost and they fall to 3-1, first loss of the season, watching them play, you went, okay, like that's a decent team.
Yeah, I mean,
now Jones had 2. Daniel Jones had 2 picks and he had some, and one of them was at the very end of the game here. They weren't the world beaters that they'd been earlier in the year, but to go into LA, battle a tough Rams team that should have beat Philly, right? The Rams should have been undefeated. I was impressed with the Colts, and as you start to stack them up amongst AFC contenders, it kind of, they have a little bit of juice to them.
And the Rams today also, off of that loss to Philly, I, for one, thought that the Rams would come home today and beat the crap out of the Colts. Like
A lot of people did. A lot of
I
people
was
did.
not a massive Colts believer. The spread was 3. I thought it should have been more. Warren got in the end zone. Jonathan Taylor's awesome. And it took to the final minute on a Stafford bomb to Atwell to win the game. Like, I was impressed with Indianapolis. Like, most teams in this case, with the way the Rams lost in Philly, where they blew that 20-point lead, then they come home. Most teams today, in my opinion, get housed by the Rams today in LA. And the Colts hung right in there.
There was, I wish we could pull it up on the screen right now, but Adonai Mitchell here, Jack. I don't know if you saw the play from earlier, but Adonai Mitchell here caught what should have been a touchdown. Watch here. So, ready? He makes spin movies at the 50-yard line, gets all the way down. I hate these plays when you drop the drops the football out of bounds. It should have been a touchdown. I think he had 2, actually.
And then what is it? It's a touchback?
Yeah.
It's a touchback, yeah. And Adonai Mitchell had 2 touchdowns that he cost the Colts today. So you go back and you watch these games. There's always things like this that happen, maybe not that badly, but the Colts easily could have walked away with the win here today. And yeah, depending on one guy, but like those are some big plays in a game that's decided by one score. You see, what are the first 2 comments we have here? Adonai Mitchell fumbling touchdowns away. AD Mitchell blew 2 touchdowns. Like that's, you feel bad, especially Tommy Cash is a good friend, big Colts fan, right? Tommy's having a tough day at 3-1 right now. But if you're a Colts fan,
I think this Colts team is good.
You're tied atop the AFC South right now with the Jaguars, who got a big win today.
Yeah.
Big win for Jacksonville against what I'm going to say is a fraudulent San Francisco 49ers team. And we called them out at 3-0, being fraudulent earlier on this week. You have to give credit for winning games, but it just didn't feel like you see 3-0 teams like the Bills who are just beating the crap out of some people, and you go, okay, like looks pretty good. And you beat Baltimore, who at the time we thought was a great win.
You might be right on Brock Purdy.
Purdy
might be awful.
And you have to, again, credit to Brock for playing through. He's injured, right? He came back early.
I don't think he was playing.
So I don't want to harp on him too much here. I don't think
he was playing today.
But the thing about Brock Purdy to me is, I get why the 49ers went in on him and gave him the massive contract extension this year. But it feels like they may have misjudged how long their window is open, right? If you're the Detroit Lions right now, if you have that roster and Brock Purdy's there, you say, okay, we have a team that is ready to win right now. We're still quite young. A lot of guys coming into their prime, and Brock can take us to that next level when he's on. The 49ers had that. They had it. Mm-hmm. But when you analyze that whole team, was it crazy to think that, okay, maybe Nick Bosa gets hurt again. Maybe George Kittle gets hurt again. Maybe we don't get the production from the receiver room with Debo gone and Ayuk not good.
Isn't George Kittle hurt?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like Kittle is hurt. Yeah. So when you hand Brock, Brock this $50+ million contract, did he get, what did he get? 55, 53?
Yeah, 55.
You're paying this guy a lot of money who I don't think can elevate that team. I think he's great when he has a great team around him.
Yeah, which he's shown. Like he played in the Super Bowl. Like he played in the Super Bowl.
And they should have won that Super Bowl too. Or they came very close.
They were up by 6 late, weren't they?
Yep. And they got the ball. And they had the ball first in overtime, got stopped. Mahomes converted a 4th down. And it's a big contract.
I remember that is what I said. Like Brock Purdy grew on me. But what I was first saying about Brock was that he was a very average quarterback playing on a very, very good team with Debo Samuel and George Kittle and
McCaffrey.
Like CMC. Yeah. I said Brock was very solid, but this team, like you could plug most people in there and they'd also be solid. Mm-hmm. And then Brock grew on me and I was kind of defending him a little bit more.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, I think, and there's a sense of stability. I understand the Niners, like a quarterback who's gotten you to a Super Bowl.
It's hard to just give up on a quarterback that you know can
has
get
potential.
You
and like you hate playing the whole quarterback carousel and the quarterback chase and the hunt.
It's a horrible game to play.
It sucks. So I understand what the Niners did. Like I was saying they should do it.
The Niners are the Dolphins of the NFC. Or the Dolphins of the NFC.
Well, I mean, don't give yourself that much credit, Zach.
You
gotta win first. Gotta win first.
The Niners are the
They're better
NFC.
than that. They were in Super Bowl.
Why? Why do you say that?
Why do I say this? Because we both paid $50 million for a quarterback that can't do anything.
And
the only reason why they did good is because they had incredible
I think you can
around them.
compare Tua and Brock Purdy in
Incredible
that
Yeah,
sense.
you can compare
Yes.
those two players.
Okay. You're saying that Tua had the season where the Dolphins were the 1 seed or could have been the 1 seed. They give him a ton of money. They think they're going to be competitive for a while.
And again, it's that same feeling of like having a quarterback that you think is okay enough. It's stability.
Yeah, you crave that.
Yes.
In the NFL.
Yes. Like going through the whole quarterback process is a pain in the ass.
But now if you're San Francisco, as these guys continue to get hurt, and maybe they come back this year and they have a really light schedule. That's why so many people were high on them this year. Maybe that's part of the reason they gave Brock the big deal is a lot of people thought they could go, including me, thought they could win 12, 13 games this year. And I'm still not willing to just write that off. I think that they're a decent team. I mean, they still won all 3 of those games to start the year. It's just as the injuries mount up, and Nick Bosa being out for the year is a massive deal. You start to think about the long-term future of this team, and you go, man, when Brock's eating up this much of the cap, and I'm not quite sure where else much of the McCaffrey's getting older, Kale's getting older. You start to worry a little bit about what this could look like in San Fran. And the quarterback market is just totally out of control. I know it is what it is, and that's what people are going to say. To me, to me, it's just a problem.
Also, too, it's tough. It's not like a good quarterback's a dime a dozen. It's a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Like there's a very small handful of teams.
But there are also the teams like the Vikings, right? Who passed up on Sam Darnold. And now we're sitting here in week 4 going, man, if we had that guy, we might be 4-0. Obviously, a big difference here is Sam Darnold was going to command about $35 million, not 50 plus. But it's just one of those examples of you let that guy go or someone you think could be that guy. And now you're in a situation with Minnesota where we have no idea where we're going. So, bless you. So I still understand if people are going, yeah, you need to keep Brock because he's a somewhat proven commodity, and you can at least be a playoff contender with him. Sure, I get it. I'm just a little wary if I'm a San Francisco fan of what's to come. And how is Jacksonville 3-1?
Yeah,
this is like a wild 3-1 team.
The Steelers, the Jaguars,
the Jaguars, and like they're sitting here. I was watching the game today, and I could have sworn, it felt like Jacksonville was a 1-3 team the way people have been talking about them all year.
We all picked San Fran in this game, didn't we? Me, you, Ziggy, and Zach. We were all on
did,
San Francisco.
Yes. We all did. But
in reality, they should win. The Jaguars have looked awful.
Oh no, the Jaguars haven't looked good, but they're sitting here at 3-1 right now.
They're They're tied with the lead in the AFC
and they're
South.
tied for the lead. Yeah,
we're talking about the Colts here. We're praising the Colts.
I know.
Jacksonville's tied with them.
It's still so early in the season that you can have these crazy reactions about one team, and then you blink your eye and you go, whoa. Oh my God, the Colts team, who we said couldn't be stopped on offense. Literally, they weren't stopped on offense through the first couple weeks. They're tied with the Jaguars. The only thing people said about them was how crappy Trevor Lawrence is a couple weeks ago. And it's kind of it's the Steelers sitting at 3-1, and the Ravens 1-3.
I think actually Ziggy picked Jacksonville. He said big game from Travis. Did Hunter have a big game? What did Hunter do?
ETN had a big day.
He said big game from Hunter and the Jaguars win.
Hunter did not have a big. It wound up being Brian Thomas, BTJ had 49. Hunter had 42 yards, and then ETN. I was kind of tongue-in-cheek during our fantasy draft when I took ETN in like the 8th or 9th round. And because last year, if you guys don't remember, I took ETN in the 2nd round thinking this guy was going to be a league winner. This year, he actually might be a league winner. Stealing ETN in the 8th or 9th round. Today, he had 124 on the ground and a touchdown. He's off to a fantastic start this year.
I had him a couple years ago.
He's been great this year. And I'm happy for him because last year he got a lot of flack in the Tank Bigsby narrative. Tank's a decent player.
Well, he's lucky that the Giants got rid of Tank.
But there's a reason. I think Liam Cohen looked at the situation and went like, you know what, this guy's
better.
Pretty good.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm happy for Travis Hunter there. That's a really big win for the Jaguars. Detroit. How about Detroit?
Taking care of business.
34-10 over the Browns. Not too much to get into here. Go ahead. You could say it.
That's what happens when legit Super Bowl contenders play the Browns. They beat the crap out of them.
Jack's just getting a little dig in there.
They don't lose. They beat the crap out of them.
What the Packers and look, early on in this game, 7-7 at the end of the first quarter, the Browns are kind of battling with them. You're watching this game thinking, all right, like is Cleveland they're a pesky team.
You looked back at me, you're like, is Cleveland the truth?
Yeah, that's what I said.
And I'm like, is this division coming down to Pittsburgh versus Cleveland?
But then,
and then Detroit kind of put the foot to the gas.
But then what the Browns do is, they make these mistakes, and what the Packers couldn't force Joe Flacco to do is make that back-breaking intercept. Have that, like, remember the Raven game? Forced turnovers, they capitalized on them. That's what the Lions did today in the second quarter. Picked off Flacco, score a touchdown, make it a 2-score game, and you slowly just kind of wear them down. Last week, Green Bay was never quite able to get that back-breaking interception, back-breaking fumble, extend their lead to a point where it started to feel. I mean, it did kind of feel impossible for Cleveland. That was just a horrific late loss.
There's also that Lambeau lore. Like if Cleveland goes to Lambeau, they get waxed.
Oh yeah, no.
Like they lose by 50 in Lambeau.
In Cleveland is a little difficult place to play. I mean, we saw Burrow in that offense, right? Which people thought was going to be unstoppable this season. Really struggle against the Browns. But the Lions just continue. At this point, they're a well-oiled machine. Jahmyr Gibbs had a good day on the ground, 91 yards, a touchdown. Goff was all right. But they did what they had to do, which was beat a bad Browns team. And they moved to 3-1 now. And the Packers, so we got the Packers coming up, and we'll have a reaction to that game after Sunday Night Football.
Pressure's on. I may or may not. I'm 50-50.
People want you there.
But Paul will definitely be.
I will definitely be there. But people want you, Jack. I mean, in the chat. Give a little love to Jack in the chat. We'll see how well that goes. But there's a little bit of pressure now on Green Bay because the Lions have thrown the counterpunch in the NFC North race. And unfortunately, this is a very sad realization that I had today. And it's one that I kind of knew in the back of my mind.
That you're just so much worse than them.
We are. We're just this is a 2-horse race in the North. Chicago fans who are in the chat right now, I'm happy for you to a degree. Like, I'm not really, but I'm happy for Weston. I'm happy for the Bears fans who have suffered that you get to 2-2. You have some encouraging signs after, a lot of difficulty early on this year. Are you heading out, Matt? As my brother heads back to.
Want to come say hello to the crowd?
We'll see you later, Matt. It was great seeing you this weekend.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
See you, Matt.
We'll see you later.
Just so fancy to go back.
So it's always fun when you have.
Have fun, Matt. See you soon.
Last night, me, Zach, our friend Mike, and Matt, my brother, who actually I don't know how many people know about Matt on the show. We don't really.
They know Lauren.
Well, we don't reference Matt as much because Matt's team is the Vikings, like me, and we just talk about them. But we ripped, and people in the chat might appreciate this. We just ripped through Episode 3, Star Wars Episode 3 last night, which I'm assuming a lot of this audience enjoys that movie and the Star Wars franchise. And I feel like every couple of years, you just gotta, or not, maybe once a year, you just gotta sit down.
So once a month, you gotta rip.
Yeah, you throw that movie on, and you get that blast of nostalgia. You're just having a great day.
You know where I was? In the city with your sister.
Yeah, I know.
Making some moves.
I know. I trusted Jack with my sister.
Making some moves.
That can't be. That's a dangerous move, but we wound up doing that.
A couple moves were made.
We'll move on. See you, Matt. The Packers do have a little bit of heat on them today because the Lions threw that counterpunch and showed that they're back. Green Bay going into Dallas needs to win this football game. You got to keep pace because I don't know if the Lions. We all talk about how difficult their schedule is. Are the Lions going to be a 12-win team? Probably not. But they certainly have that in their world of possibilities. This is one that the Packers must win.
I mean, this is also a team. I get it. Like it's a different spot. Like week by week, anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't like making this comparison to other weeks often. But this is a team who was obliterated by the Chicago Bears.
Yes.
Just 7 days ago.
And their defense was obliterated.
By
Russell Wilson and the Giants.
Yes.
A team that couldn't move the ball and we couldn't score on anyone else.
We have still been waiting to see. We've praised the Green Bay defense this year, and for good reason. They've been awesome. We've been waiting to see a little bit more from the offense. And I think Jordan Love really needs to have a big game tonight against this Dallas defense. Mm-hmm. I think this Dallas defense is one of the worst in the NFL.
I don't think that's a crazy opinion at all.
If this is a game for Jordan Love and the Green Bay offense to have their coming out party, I think this is the game they have to do it.
Yeah, it's a huge bounce back.
Dallas is also not a home field advantage. There'll be more Packers fans there than Cowboys fans. Like this is a spot that you have to come out offensively and torch the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You got to keep pace with the Lions because if the Packers want to be a Super Bowl team, this is what we're talking about with the Chargers, right? If you want to be a Super Bowl team, you got to win these games. Mm-hmm. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's coming up in 15 minutes here or 10 minutes here. Couple more games we just want to hit. I want to shout out because we got our boy Sebastian listening live to the show. Sebastian Vallejo, our good buddy.
Sebastian, what's up?
Big Falcon.
Did the
fan.
Falcons win
Big
today?
Falcon fan. Oh, yeah.
They did, right?
34-27. They beat the Commanders. Then nice win. Jane Daniels not playing, but we saw what that team did last week with Marcus Mariota playing. And I thought it was a great win for Atlanta, who has to be the most confusing team of the past 3 weeks. Because they show up on Sunday Night Football and kind of dominate the Vikings, but also like keep the door open the whole time. And they get to 1-1 after, they lost to Tampa in week 1. And you go like, all right, like nice win.
They lose to the Panthers.
But now they should beat Carolina, and they get blasted by the Panthers, who clearly suck.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened in that game. And today you come back, and now you're rock bottom. You just lose to the Panthers by 30 points. And you have Washington, who seems kind of hot coming in. And now you beat them. Penix goes for 313, 2 touchdowns. Drake London is one of the most underrated receivers in the league. He had a handful of catches today that you just go like, damn, this guy can really play. And Bijan was really good. He had a great touchdown run. I just have no idea what to really think of Atlanta. And I'm not quite sure I want to think too much about them just yet. But it feels like they should probably be 3-1, even though they've had a very weird start to the year. So I think if you're a Falcon fan, you settle on 2-2. The Bucs had a big loss today. Yeah, and you're just one game out right now. I know you don't have the tiebreaker, but
I was just going to say that I don't know how big of a believer I am right now in Tampa Bay. And I've loved Tampa Bay. But this team could easily now be 0-4. Like, there's no... If you're a Falcons fan, I think you should have all eyes on going ahead and winning the NFC South.
That opening... I want to see how large that opening week loss is going to loom on them throughout the year. Because, again, they have to go to Tampa later in the season.
Yeah.
And you let one slip through your fingertips. Ibuka had the catch at the end of the game to win it for Tampa. If you flip that right now, and Atlanta's 3-1, and Tampa's 2-2, and the Falcons have the tiebreaker, you're feeling a little different about this team.
Atlanta also had the Bucs beat. Like, the first 3 weeks of the season, the Bucs took the lead in the final minute to win their games.
Yeah, and you saw that finally catch up to Tampa today, who lost 31-25 to the Eagles. And Tampa's just a fun team because Baker Mayfield is as fun as it gets in the NFL. But as you're watching that game, it was an 8-point game in the fourth quarter. Tampa has a lot of resiliency, clearly, this year, right? 3 game-winning drives. Baker has this aura about him that's never say die, and you've seen it so many times with fourth down scrambles and lowering the shoulder on dudes, and he bounces back up, and you're like, how can you not love this dude? I think producer Zach said
he's a rage.
He's his favorite player in the NFL right now. Because Zach is miserable as a Dolphin fan. But
Baker's a rage, but Baker's like me.
Zach's doing what Zach's just shifting his allegiance. Where you're moving up like 4 hours, 3 hours.
Still in the state of Florida.
In Florida, there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
it's miserable, right?
The perk for me is I can go right to the Eagles if things go bad with the Steelers.
Yeah. Well, we didn't put a camera on Zach because he's so miserable right now. That's why there's no camera. You depress everyone.
So the Dolphins be the Jets tomorrow. He'll be in a better
Actually, it's a great day right now. You want to know why?
Why?
The Dolphins haven't played yet.
Dolphins haven't played
Dolphins
yet.
were off today. It was a good Sunday.
It's fantastic.
With all this said about Tampa Bay, great resiliency, right? They make it a 1-score game.
We've also got no comment showing love towards Jack.
Oh, that was
0.
Oh, no, you got a super chat that says, "Yo, Jack, it's Thomas. Go Steelers."
Oh, it's Thomas, my cousin.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, hey,
Shout out to Thomas. Thank you, Thomas.
Yes, go Steelers.
Yeah.
Go Steelers is right.
Real quick, we'll go back to Steelers in 1 second. I just want to finish up this thought on Tampa. Today showed to me, we were talking about the legitimacy of Tampa at 3-0, and I think it was kind of a faulty 3-0. 2-1 would have been a little more appropriate for this team, but they can play. Like, they can clearly play. If it comes down to them going into Philly in the playoffs or going into Detroit, they still feel like a team that's going to challenge them. They're going to be tough, but I'm not picking them. I'm not thinking about picking them. But overall, I still think they're firmly in that tier 2 of contenders in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, and they were getting blown out today. Like, there was never
They were down 31-13.
Like, there was never a thought in my mind that Bucs were going to win the game. Mm-hmm. But they did have some of these long, explosive plays to keep them in it. Like, there were spans where, like, they cut it to 8.
No Evans today, too.
Right, no Evans. They cut the lead to 8. Like, they had some big plays, one with Bucky Irving, one with Ibuka. With dynamic plays where, like, they were dead and buried and were able to come back and make it a fight. again, like I didn't think at all they were going to win the game, but they made it much more interesting than I thought. Like most teams who aren't good just end up losing by 40 in that game of the
And
Eagles.
listen to this too. This was the second half for the Eagles. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, touchdown, 5 plays punt, 3 and out, 3 and out, and then they had the safety at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, they shut them down. And that's for a Tampa team that you have some concerns about the defense. Eagles are a hard team. How many times have we talked about Philly coming in and they get the ball with a chance to win the game and they go on that 16-play, 12-minute drive? They just completely destroy your soul. Today, Tampa fought back. Like, I was really impressed with the comeback. I'm really impressed with Baker so far this year. I'm not ready to put them on that top tier. And I think a win today would have actually elevated them. Clearly would have elevated them up there for me, even if they came back and won with the way that game looked. But they're going to be around all year.
Did they get a late safety?
There was a safety.
Did I just totally miss that?
I missed it too.
The final score was 31-23.
31-25 was the final. I totally missed that as well. I think we turned it off.
Yeah.
Okay. So just so we are clear across these other games, the Bills beat the Saints 31-19. Weird looking at that score, staying close so long, and if you're Buffalo, you're just happy to walk away with the win. And you know what?
Didn't cover.
For a brief moment today, when Rattler had the chance to take the lead, and I think it was Olave who had a chance to make a catch to take the lead in the fourth quarter, I was like, hey, look at the Saints. Then I forgot how much I hate the Saints. I was like, screw these guys. I hope they don't win the game this year. The Texans, 26-0 win over the Titans. Congratulations to Zach, who picked up Willie Marks. 17 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Was that you or Mike?
No, it was Mike.
Oh, it was Mike. Sorry. Mike didn't play him anyway. So.
Congratulations to Zach picking the Titans this week.
Woody. No. Woody. That's it. And that would cover all the games so far. Obviously, we don't need to talk too much about Sam Darnold and the 3-1 Seahawks beating Arizona on Thursday Night Football.
You mean the best team in the league.
Yeah. It's really tough watching that. Last thing I'll talk about before we head out of here, because, Jack, you shout out your cousin.
Yes, Thomas.
Thomas would be happy to see, and I put this out on Twitter. I get a text from my neighbor. Jack and I go to church. We come back, and we're watching the end of the 4 o'clock games. Get a text from my neighbor. It's like Eddie, little Eddie.
Who's now
big Eddie.
huge.
He's now, Eddie's like 16, 17 years old. Like,
crap
beat
out
the
of us.
crap out of me. But Eddie's like, yo, someone's messing with your car outside. I'm like, what? What? Zach's out. Like, we got a bunch of people here watching the games. And I'm like, what? And I just write back like, oh boy. And then he goes like, no, seriously, someone's effing with your car. I'm like, oh god. So I get up. It's the end of these games are great. So I run upstairs and I look out the window. All over my car. I guess his older sister is senior in high school, and all the girls decorate their cars with the markers that you could wash off. And I just see a gigantic Steelers logo, 24-21. I walk out. I'm like, oh my god, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, come look at this. The side of my car, Go Steelers, written all across it. Like, you son of a bitch.
I am actually disappointed that the final score said 24-21.
Oh, it should. It was an ass whooping.
Like it was, yeah.
I can't tell you how sad I am about the state of the Minnesota Vikings.
Thomas, how about that Steeler defense today? The defensive line we got after it today.
I'm so sad about the state of the Minnesota Vikings that I'm actually not even sad. I don't know if people can really put that together, because I know we have a lot of Packers and Steelers fans who listen to these shows.
What can you really expect from the Minnesota?
It's just like you get to the point where it's just so hopeless that you're like, all right, it's numb. It's numbing. And I'm just
welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Welcome to the club.
We see let Jack talk about Dart.
Yeah.
I told you, I'm not shocked. Dart's they're gonna live 14-3. This guy's incredible. That's all I have to say.
The neighbor's injury doesn't change that at all? Yeah, you just get 14-3?
No, they'll be 14-3
1 seed? Or will Philly be 15-2? Well, they beat Philly now.
Well, they'll beat Philly twice. They haven't played him yet,
This is what's great. Again, we live in New Jersey, so we're with a lot of Giants fans. We had a couple Giants fans watching the game, and Mike, our buddy Giants fan, he goes, the thing that sucks about this is I know they're going to beat the Saints. They're going to rope me back in. I'm probably going to go to the football game on Thursday night. We're 2-2 playing the Eagles.
And get murdered.
Yeah. And that's probably what's going to happen to these guys.
Everybody here will come back and start kissing my butt. And I'll say this right now.
Oh, boy.
after Jackson Dart beats the Philadelphia Eagles.
When if they're 3-2 and
he
they
will.
beat the Eagles, I'll kiss your.
And he will. Well, you'll kiss it anyway.
All right, let's wrap it up. We have Sunday Night Football starting up. Appreciate everybody. This is really cool to have a bunch of people listening in on this Week 4 reaction show. I actually think, as far as the show goes without Ziggy,
As good as it could have gone.
not so bad.
As good as it could have gone.
I mean,
maybe we don't ask him back.
Maybe,
Maybe we don't ask him back.
I mean, we pay. There's a lot of money we pay to Ziggy.
we fire
It's a
Ziggy.
massive contract.
Maybe we fire. At least we fire him.
The profitability of the show is soar.
You're right.
But he's just
He's
the best.
He's a
It's hard to-
necessity. Like he's
he's great.
He's a bare necessity.
He is a bare necessity of this show. All right, we will see you guys. So we'll have a post game after the Packers Cowboy game. Now, look, if there's one way to make this weekend horrendous for me, it's to have the Vikings lose, the Lions win, the Bears walk it off, and then the Packers win Sunday Night Football.
The Packers will win. So don't worry.
Just like we had Andy Herman on, or we did the show with Andy Herman behind enemy lines, and Andy goes, it's hard to get a lot worse in the NFC North than when the Packers lose, Vikings, Lions, Bears win. Cruel fate. Maybe the only fate of a Vikings fan is to have it flip on us immediately the next week. So we'll see. Hopefully